Hello, this is Camaro Bruce, where we talk a little bit about anything and a lot about everything. In today's clip, we're going to talk about generators, backfeeding your house, your shop with generators. I feel this is a very important thing because in the changing climate, there's a lot of storms that have gone through. I've been knocked out in the last couple years for 8 days, which was a disaster. Made a lot of crabby people in the end, and we had a storm just a week ago. Mini blizzard knocked us out for a couple more days, and I had a generator from 20 years ago, and it lasted forever, and it really did, and it still runs great, but it has a couple problems with some of the circuits in it, and we can fix it. I can put Neil on it to fix it. But I wanted a little bit bigger one for a little more capacity now that I'm out here, and there's a 220 well and hot water heaters and stuff like that. So let's take a look at this generator I got. You know, for $1,200, I bought this generator, and you have one storm where you don't have electricity for 3 or 4 days, and this is going to happen anywhere in the country. Fires, earthquakes, tornadoes, big windstorms. You're going to lose $1,200 worth of food at the cost of food these days alone. And a generator like this will save a lot more in your food. It'll keep your wife happy. So yeah, I picked up this generator, ordered it from Home Depot. It's a good medium capacity generator that's going to operate pretty much so everything in your house, with an exception of a central air unit. You know, they have a lot of amps going on, but if you micromanage things and you have a little window AC unit that you can survive on for the power outage, you'll be fine. This is a Westinghouse. It's 3 types of fuel, tri-fuel. You can run regular gasoline, natural gas, and propane. So if you're going to run natural gas, obviously you're going to have it connected to your house supply somewheres. Propane, if you're going to be out for a while, you're not going to run it off of a propane grill tank. You're going to need a big tank, and that's going to be hard to move around. With regular gasoline, you're more flexible. You can move it around a little bit, and that's what I'm going with. Has a auto start, lots of breakers. Dang, one of the most important things when your power's out, you got to charge your phone. Not that you can't go in your car and do it. This will be the output that I'm using, a 4-prong 220. It has the round circular plugs, kind of RV type plugs, and 2 110 plugs. I've already tested it out. I'm really happy so far with it. We'll just have to see. It actually has an oil filter too, and that just gives a little longevity to the engine. And a battery charger. You can just plug it right in up there on the wall. It's been charging and the battery's charged. I'm going to actually take that out. So it's actually on. And then over here, worst come to worst, it has a pull starter and a fuel petcock. I've already turned it on, getting ready to take it out and use it. Let's talk about the connections a little bit for backfeeding. With a little heavier generator, I've went with the number 8 wire. Just number 10 is okay, but if you have a little bit longer run, that's when wires can get hot. So it's going to be 3 wires and a ground. We had a blizzard 10 days ago, mini one, and it knocked us out with power. And when I went to buy these, I could only get one, and the first one I got at Menards, it was nice. It connected, solid connections, and it had some space in it to hook it up. And the really important thing is space to go up here and hook up your ground wire without it rubbing a fraction away. Whereas in haste, because I needed 4 of them, I'm hooking up 2 generators. I got the Lowe's one, and it had just inferior connections. They bent a little bit, and there was no space for the ground wire to come up and rub up against one of the legs of the 220. So I went with that. Just a touch base, because you have to make up whatever you're going to connect to. Obviously, if you really know what you're going to do, you can wire this into your stove breaker in the panel, but you're better off spending the time getting the connections. You can plug it into a dryer plug, you can plug it into a range plug, but the best is to make a little connection by your circuit panel and just plug it into that. One of the things that was really nice that we had when the power went out just for lights is this DeWalt battery jump starter. I mean, this thing's great. You can jump start your car with it. It's got a compressor. You can fill your tires up, fill up rafts, whatever. You can charge your phone. 1, 2, 3, 4 USBs. But what's nice is it has an inverter. So if you go with AC power, boom, you have light. And we had this light. I ran it 5 hours without having to charge the unit, and it still had a lot left. So a good tool to have around for light in an emergency. Okay, and I think it was a couple $100. Good stuff. All right, let's walk through the procedure to hook it up now that we know. So the garage here is a sub panel. The main panel is an original panel, is over here in the bunkhouse, is where I hooked up. They hooked up all the stuff originally, the well. There's a electric hot water heater hooked up to it. There's a heating unit there, which I wouldn't use. I like my barn door for that. It made it easier to finish around the tile. So first and foremost, the power's on here, obviously, but the power will be off. That doesn't mean just hook up your generator. You better shut off your main disconnect. Wherever you're hooking up, in this case, it's my bunkhouse, but in the main house, I'm having the same procedure. First and foremost, this goes off, and this is the last procedure you do after you disconnect your generator and shut your other switches off. So I have a hot water heater on here. One of my outbuildings is on here. So I'm going to shut off the outbuilding. I'm going to shut off the hot water heater and that other auxiliary heater. Even though you have a bigger generator, it's not going to run two 220 volt devices. And especially if you're going to run a well, you don't want to underpower your well, because then you're going to talk about burning up a 5-10 horse motor on there, and that is costly. So as you're running it, if I wanted to, and I did it, I shut the power off before I opened the door. No big deal. I'll just pop the garage door and open it manual, because this is what you're going to have to do when the power's out anyway. So you have to micromanage it. If you know you're going to have your well on, and especially in this case, I don't know what everybody's going to be doing up in the main house. That's the first and foremost. And if you're going to run a few other things, shut the well off, heat your water up, do what you need to do, but don't run a couple of 220 devices without shutting some circuits off. So we're going to hook this up next because my disconnect's already on. So now I'm going to hook up my connections. Got that one there. I'm gonna turn this on. It's not gonna start it, but it's gonna be ready to start it with my nifty little remote starter. Wherever I left it, it's in my pocket. So now we're gonna come over and we're gonna make our connection here. Boom. And just double check redundancy. Play it out in your mind. What do I need to do? Am I doing this right? Okay. Now, before I hook it up, did I shut the main breaker off? Is this connected? Is this still off? I don't want to start the generator with a big draw on it. This here is the disconnect or circuit going from my receiving plug-in from the generator to the panel, which is this panel is going to backfeed the other one. Is that off? Yes. What's that mean? Now I can start the generator. I don't even have to walk over there. It's just like Wally. They don't want you to walk more than 5 steps in your life. Go to the drive-thru. Drive down to get your mail. It's too much. My generator's been warmed up and already, so now we've got everything. I've run it through my head. What's going on? Let's turn the disconnect on, and there was a little surge, and now we have power. Let's see if I can get my door reconnected. Coming up. There it is. Catch and go. Perfect. Now we can do anything we want. I'm just shutting the door so that we can hear a little bit more. Now, you know, my refrigerators will be on. I can run, you know, out here, I can run a small air conditioner, but once again, if I had this air conditioner running, I would not want my well on. When my well's gonna run, I want full power from the generator. I don't want the well motor to have not enough amps to make it run the way it's supposed to. So from here, now that we've hooked, there's the hand. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have a crew. I just do this for fun, for sure. So now the procedure is not 100% opposite. And once again, the last thing that you're gonna do is to turn the power back on your circuit panel. And in this case, it will be called my main panel. So what I wanna do is shut the generator off, disconnect my cable, shut that circuit off. Actually, yes, disconnect the cable, shut that circuit off, and then I can go back and turn the regular power on. Let's see how this works. I should just be able to push this. Let's see if it's Superman and can go through doors. Actually, I should have probably shut this circuit off first. You hate shutting things off when it's on a load. I should have shut this off. Remember, that's the disconnect for the cable. I'm gonna pull this plug out. Now my generator is disconnected and that switch is off. I can go ahead and restore my main power. And let's just do this. So that's the whole procedure. It was 85 degrees the other day, and now it's like 45, and it's already noon. But I have my wood burning stove. It's keeping me warm. We're gonna come back in here and everything's disconnected. Play it through your head a couple times so there's no mistakes. I'll turn my hot water heater back on. I'll turn my heating unit on, and I'll turn my outbuilding on. And you know what? This is how you do it. I hope this really helps if you're gonna hook up a generator. I hope you've listened to the whole thing. These procedures are very important. I've been doing this, hooking up generators to my homes with power outages for probably 25 years, and I've never made any mistakes or got sparked for anything. So watch it. If you have any questions or any comments to help, please leave them. And this is Camaro Bruce. Have a good day. See ya.